Was actually somebody called in to our desk and said a guy claims to be Nicholas Barclay, who had been missing. They sent me out to interview this guy. So we ended up going to a trailer park in Dripping Springs. It was dark and we did the interview, and there were just certain things that didn't match up. His eyes were a different color. He had a French accent. His hair was a different color. And I left there very suspicious. This was Barclay's family that was saying they went to Spain to get this kid and they believe it's Nick. I made calls and I wasn't sure we should even do the story. And the desk and they said, we need to do something on this. And I said, well, I'm not gonna say definitively it's him. I called an FBI source. They said they have not closed this case. And I talked to the Center for Missing and Exploited Children, and they had not taken him off their database. So I mentioned that the Barclay family thinks this is him. You know, he's making a lot of claims, but so far nobody outside the Barclay family will confirm that they believe this is Nicholas Barclay. What was strange was, because I didn't go all in on the fact that this was Nicholas Barclay, he kept calling me trying to convince me that he was Nicholas. And when he took the lie detector test, I ran into Charlie Parker, the private eye, and Charlie was helping out with, I want to say 2020 or somebody at that point. And I told Charlie I had my doubts. He also agreed that he had his doubts, but for some reason, the guy who pretended to be Nicholas Barclay kept calling us. He wasn't calling, and so it became a point where he wasn't calling the other stations. The other stations reported it like this was Nicholas Barclay. We were the only station that put some doubt in there. So he kept calling, trying to convince me he was Nicholas Barclay. Even after there were tests that came back that said he may not be Nicholas Barclay, he kept trying to convince me that he was. He took a lie detector test and it came back inconclusive. He basically passed a lie detector test. I mean, he just all of these different things that he came and tried to convince me, until one day we got a tip from the FBI that they were going to go and arrest him. He was Frederic Bourdin, a French citizen who for some reason decided he wanted to be an imposter and he wanted to take on the role of Nicholas Barclay. And it got him to the United States. I don't know what he planned on doing after that. Then he tried to convince me, even after we knew he wasn't who he said he was, he tried to convince me that he knew of missing children from other countries. He actually claimed to know of a missing child, a missing boy from Germany. The mother from Germany flew over here to talk to him. And again, he was lying. He turned on Nicholas Barclay's mother in particular, and the sister. And ironically, it was the sister that brought him over, that went and got him and brought him over here. So he turned on them, saying they killed Nicholas Barclay. Never proven, never, founded, and he said that's why they went along with the whole thing, because they knew they really, there's just a certain point where you don't believe a word he's saying. But it's so bizarre that up until a few years ago, he would still call me out of the blue from either prison or now he's back in France. He's now married, he has kids. We were Facebook friends for a while. Like, he friended my KSAT Facebook page for a while. So, I mean, it's really kind of a bizarre thing. Like, I would not be shocked if tomorrow I get a call from Frederic Bourdin. The only thing I can figure out is that he got off on fooling people. And I think he also loved notoriety. And I think they did a movie called The Impostor, I think, and Charlie Parker was in it. And I think he loved that. I think he loves that kind of notoriety. And I think that supersedes everything, that has to do with ethics and compassion and feelings for somebody going through such a tragedy. He got off on being able to fool people and becoming notorious because of it. It is the most bizarre case I have ever covered in my life.